Hey everybody, Mr. Dan here. Today I'll be talking about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I've never seen before. So I watched this early this morning. I got up early, my usual time, which is quite early. I went down to the basement. I raided the Halloween decorations for some atmosphere, and I decided to give it a watch. Of course, I know about the reputation of it. I know that I'm well aware that Michael Myers does not fit into it. I knew eventually I'd get around to watching the film, however. I've always wanted to watch it just for curiosity's sake. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to enjoy it based on, for what it is. And I know that there's some pretty good people in it. And I've actually become interested in the works of the screenwriter, Nigel Kneale, to the point where I've purchased this book called Into the Unknown, which I'd like to talk about in future videos once I learn more about him. I have watched some episodes of television that he's written for, and he's, of course, the author, screenwriter of Quatermass and The Pit, among other works. And here, let's just take a look. Here's Tom Atkins. And this was funny, too, because I just showed my son this. We watched RoboCop, and here's Dan O'Herlihy in a very different kind of role, quite menacing here. I love that line there. And here's actually the book, what it looks like in the daylight, Into the Unknown, the fantastic life of Nigel Kneale. And there you see on the back where it indicates that his work has been very influential on people like Mark Gatiss and John Carpenter. And so far, without having read the book yet, just based on the television and movie screenplays that he's written, some of his major themes seem to be fear of the unknown and the human reaction to it. And I'm also curious to see if he will, the degree to which he weaves in the myths and superstitions from the United Kingdom. Now, according to IMDb, Nigel Kneale's the uncredited screenwriter for Halloween 3. But as you can see here, the film is featured prominently in the book, so I'm curious to read the book and find out why. He is often listed as the uncredited screenwriter, and in fact, he's actually not credited on the DVD either, so kind of curious about that. For the review of the film itself, I actually thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, as I thought I would. I was pretty sure I would, unless it was going to be really bad. But yeah, overall it was pretty good. Take it away from the Halloween franchise, it was a pretty good film. Special effects, acting, everything was pretty much consistent with the time period, with the 80s. Tom Atkins was very good. The name of the lead actress escapes me at the moment, of course. She was very good. She wasn't in a whole lot. And, of course, Dan O'Herlihy as the villain. Conal Cochran was very good. He was actually of Irish extraction himself. And he actually had a nephew named Conal, according to IMDb, anyway. And as I said, I just seen him in RoboCop, so that was pretty funny. I like that Cochran had these mechanical robots, these human-looking mechanical robots that he used to do his bidding, and that was actually tied to his history of being a toy maker. There was an older animatronic in the toy factory that was actually knitting, so it had all this dexterity. Looked like it was knitting. The Tom Atkins character thought it was actually real at first. So it was kind of cool that they fleshed it out that way. Fleshed it out, get it? Yeah, they were pretty good. I would say not as good as like Ash from Alien, which came out earlier, as far as the sort of the gore part, when they were sort of coming apart and losing limbs. There was some fluid, some orange. There's a lot of orange fluid in this movie. There was some orange fluid that came out of their mouths, and it was still pretty good. Overall, the special effects were were pretty good for the time, I think. The human gore effects, such as the one head ripping off scene, which was very brief, could have maybe been a little better. It was very brief. I think that I can't recall the name of the person who worked on the special effects, but they were pretty good. I think if they had a little more time, maybe they could have made them a little bit better. As far as the sort of the lightning and fire effects, they were pretty much consistent with the time. You know, the blue laser beam kind of thing that happened when the silver shamrock medallions got activated was in keeping with the time. That doesn't seem out of date or problematic to me at all, because that's what I'm familiar with from that time. Now, at the end, when the building sort of caught on fire, the factory, that wasn't too great. They could have maybe just set some real fires behind it. It would have looked better than what they had there. That looked a little rushed, maybe. But overall, I enjoyed the film. It was fun. As far as, like, okay, again, take it away from the Halloween franchise and just look at it as an independent film of that era, I would say it's like a notch below, like Night of the Creeps, just as a fun movie to watch. But I certainly don't regret watching it. I'm glad I finally got to see it. Next thing we need to talk about is, let me ask you a question. If there was no Halloween 2, if Halloween 2 is Season of the Witch, okay, and there was no Halloween 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital, would this film still have flopped / been controversial / been not well liked at the time? I'm going to say yes, only because calling it Halloween right on the heels of the first one was pretty much the kiss of death, because of the Michael Myers character. It was such a strong presence. I love the idea of a recurring series every year. I think that's what they were kind of going for. And I think the closest we've ever come is Trick or Treat. I would love to see yearly installments of Trick or Treat, even every other year. You know, make people wait for it a little bit. Well, as you can see, I have a few more Halloween movies to watch here between now and Halloween. Next up will be Halloween 2, which I don't remember that well at all, so I'm looking forward to that. And I will refer back to Season of the Witch as I sort of develop the series that I have in mind about the works of Nigel Kneale. So thank you very much for listening and watching.